All right, you guys, I am so excited to come on in and talk to you about how to get on the For You page on TikTok, because there have been some big changes on TikTok. A lot of people have noticed them. And if you're anything like me, when you started to notice, you're kind of like, what is going on? It feels like everyone has lower views. It feels like everything's down. And some people have gotten really discouraged. I don't know. Have you felt that way? Have you felt discouraged? Let me know in the comments beneath this video. But it's totally normal to experience the fluctuations, but I'm going to give you some of the examples of why it's happening, at least a couple, and then how to fix it, okay? So now let's be super clear about one thing. So a lot of people are talking about whether or not the TikTok algorithm changed. Now, a big misconception behind the scenes of most major social media platforms is people think that the changes only happen every so often. The truth is, changes are happening to the algorithm all the time. It's AI. It's literally adaptive learning. Like, it's learning how humans work and teaching itself as it goes. So when you start to study how AI and algorithms work, it's amazing how much is changing as we go and grow together, which is really, really cool. So that I wouldn't say that there has necessarily been one big change, but there have been a bunch of consistent changes that all happen to line up at the same time as parents and kids handled back to school and back to activities and all kinds of changes in their schedules. So there have been changes for all of us, and a lot of parents got called back into the office at the same time as this happened. Just tons of changes, and if that makes you feel better already, awesome. But the second big thing that I've noticed is that whether or not this is the case, a lot of creators have been noticing that their videos are no longer hitting the For You page, meaning not every video is necessarily potentially going to hit the For You page. So the way that we discovered this was by looking at the analytics of all of our new videos and seeing like, okay, if we post a video, is it hitting the For You page immediately? Is it hitting the For You page within an hour? Or is it happening within the first day? And we started noticing that there's not any traffic coming from the For You page on many of our new videos. This isn't all of them. Now, here's why this isn't as terrible as it sounds and how to fix it. I'm actually going to dive into 7 topics here, okay? So drop the numbers that relate to you because you may say like some of these work for you. If you find at least 3 or 4 of these where you're like, this is exactly what I needed to hear, awesome. Okay, so let's dive on in. Are you ready? Number one of the big changes is that there's a lot more of a delayed release. We have known that TikTok was going to move to more of a delayed release platform for a long time, and there have been some big challenges over the last 2 years where things that never should have been seen by 10 people were seen by hundreds of thousands or millions. Have you seen those videos before? Please don't comment exactly what the links are for any of those or exactly what they are, because those videos can be super triggering. But there are some really, really, really next level trauma-filled videos that were so inappropriate that made the rounds on the For You page before the algorithm kicked in or the team kicked in their recognition that these videos were wildly inappropriate and got them taken down. So what kind of, it may seem like it's a bad thing, but in some ways there are some aspects of the delayed release actually protecting a lot of people. And so it seems like it's a bad thing from the creator standpoint, but yet it was very, very, very disturbing to see some of these videos across our For You pages. Those of you who know what I'm talking about, feel free to say yes below, because there were certain videos that no one should ever have had to see, and it actually created a lot of trauma for a lot of people seeing some of these videos. So the delayed release is it's not a bad thing all around, but what it does mean is that your videos are not always going to get that immediate recognition, the views, the likes, and the For You page time that you may feel that your content deserves. But there's nothing that we can do necessarily to change the algorithm, but what we can change is our perspective. So my recommendation number 1 is to bank on the delayed release and to continue creating. There's going to be more and more of a snowball effect as they release more of those old videos. And I'm noticing that my videos from, actually, as I look at this right now, my videos from weeks and or months ago are actually the ones that are hitting the For You page right now as we speak. In fact, I have a couple here from even a year ago that are taking off, and it's kind of like mind-blowing. So delayed release is going to work in our favor in many different ways. So keep creating. Drop a 1 if that was what you needed to hear today. Number 2, niching down your hashtags more than ever is going to be important, because how TikTok is determining which videos are going to make the For You page in some ways is going to be based on engagement and retention from the people who do see it. Now, one of the best ways to make sure that you have great engagement and retention, besides creating the obvious, creating great content, is to make sure that the content falls in front of the people who are most likely to react or engage with that content. And so niching down your hashtags is going to be more important than ever. So for example, if I were going to create a video about how being a parent of 3 kids is so much harder than being a parent of 2, I would use hashtags like mamas of 3, hashtags like parents of 3, proud parent of 3 kids, those types of hashtags, so that we maximize the engagement of the initial audience before TikTok decides, is this going to actually go on the For You page? Now, for those of you who say, but how are those people ever going to see it if it doesn't hit the For You page? Because videos are still going to be categorized and contained within the hashtags. So if you click on the hashtags, mamas of 3, parents of 3, you're going to find video content in there, and a lot of people spend a lot of time in those hashtags. So niche down your hashtags so your content is engaged with the people, by the people who are most likely to engage with it, to increase your chances of hitting the For You page. Drop the number 2 if you're like, that's the one I needed to hear. This is so helpful. And side note, here's a little bonus tip. A lot of people are like, how do you find niche down hashtags? I use a software that is either free for a trial, or you can just pay, it's like $10 a month. It's called flick.tech, and it's for Instagram. Now, here's what I do. I do all of my research. I find tons and tons and tons of hashtags, and then I go and type those hashtags into TikTok and see how many views they have. I love to find hashtags that have 5, 6, or 7 views, 7 figures worth of views. So if it has 47,000 views, this is a super niche down hashtag. It's gonna perform really, really well. If you can find ones that are in the hundreds of thousands, awesome too. And sometimes it's difficult to find niche down hashtags. So if you can find ones that are in the millions of views, that's awesome. Once you get to like 8 figures worth of views, it's harder and harder to compete in those large hashtags. So that's how I like to niche them down, is by using flick.tech. So drop the 2 if you're like, that just became extra juicy. Okay, number 3, make sure that your content relates to your audience, not just you. I love to put my content through the so what test. The so what test is really powerful, very humbling, but whenever I'm like low energy or tired, I start creating more content that relates to only me or only the people who know me really well, when the truth is you want to be asking, if someone just came across my content for the very first time and they ask themselves, so what? Have I given them a reason to care about this content or watch or comment? And that test is amazing. And in fact, anytime that my views or engagement go down, I remember that I created content that doesn't pass the so what test. So you've got to put your content through this so what test to see if it's actually going to perform for audiences outside of the people who follow you, okay? So drop a 3 if that's what you needed to hear. By the way, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you 10 things that you can use immediately today to increase the views and engagement on your content. Now, I'm going to share one more thing that's really, really big before I get to point 4. So a lot of people are freaked out that not every video is necessarily going to hit the For You page, at least as it stands. But one of the big things I want to share is that you'll notice that most of the time when you scroll through your For You page, you don't see very many content with like 0 likes or 1 or 2 likes. The reason for that is because if content hit the For You page and didn't perform well, TikTok's gonna pull it off the For You page. It's not gonna stay on the For You page. So when I first started on TikTok, I created a lot of content that would be on the For You page for like an hour and then be off, or even faster because some of it was so bad. So even though we may be like, oh, this is so not fair, this isn't, like they're removing our chances to go viral, the truth is content that was just briefly on the For You page and didn't perform was pulled so fast it wasn't likely to go viral anyways. So drop a yes if that was exactly what you needed to hear. Okay, number 4, I'm going to keep this one simple. Ask for engagement. It's that simple. Ask for engagement. Ask people to like if they enjoyed it. Ask people to follow for more. Ask people to comment below and share their questions or their favorite answers to the question. This one is a big game changer, and it helps to improve retention time. It helps to improve the amount of engagement ratio. Drop a 4 if that was the one that you needed to hear in the comments in the chat beneath this video, okay? Number 5, bring in engagement points, aka talking points into your content. For example, my shirt right now could be considered a talking point. My nails, though they're grown out, got so many comments on tons of videos. Some people ask where my earrings are from, or why in the world I rainbow order my bookshelves. So you want to ask yourself, do I have engagement points in my video? Points of interest that make people say, like, I want to find out what the heck is up with that. You may notice that sometimes creators will create content while they're eating. Every time I create content that shows me eating while I'm talking or answering or doing a duet, it always performs well because it adds a layer of interest. So drop a 5 in the comments below if you're like, this is exactly what I need. Woo, this is getting fun. And in just a moment, I'm gonna share even more. Gotta catch my breath and drink some water. Is that fine? Let me dive into number 6. Number 6, respond to your early squad. I'm gonna take this one step further. When you respond to your early squad, try to ask questions. Try to ask questions of your early squad so that they come back to your video, potentially watch it again, and respond to those questions. This is just a great way to get more screen time, airtime, connection time, and it builds relationships. So ask questions when people comment on your videos that bring them back again, but also create another touch point with your audience. And remember, your early squad, these are some of the most awesome, loyal people ever. I try to at least like all of their comments and sometimes respond to them. And once in a while, I ask questions or try to remember things about them or go to their videos and engage with their videos. So responding to your early squad, but asking them questions that keep the conversation going is not only a great marketing technique to improve your engagement so your videos are more likely to hit the For You page, but also it's relationship building. It's one of the best things you can do. Drop a 6 if that was the one and you're like, that's the one that clicks for me. That's the one that I need. Now, number 7, this is big. There's a reason that the hook that I created, some of you guys have heard this, I studied 937 viral videos. I studied 937 viral TikTok videos. And I found some patterns that I'm going to share with you here now today. Out of those 937 videos, almost all of them followed a similar framework for the first 3 to 5 seconds. That is called the hook of a video or a content piece. So I compiled 10 hooks from those viral videos that you can use here now today. And here they are. Number 1, the best insert technique I've ever done. Number 2, 10 insert tool types I wish I knew earlier. Number 3, you need this free tool for insert the industry. Top 5 sites I use to save time as a insert niche or industry. This took off because it was good, but also because a lot of people realized that it was performing well and they followed actually my advice. I did not tell them to copy my videos, and I'm gonna be super clear. Try to model, which means getting inspired by something, but do not copy or steal. But you can study videos that are doing well and use similar ideas, trends, topics, inspiration, or hooks. And of course, if your content is very similar to the person that you're inspired by, you can simply add in your caption, IB, and then their username to give credit. It's that simple. And if you forget about it or whatever, put it in the pinned comment on the video. This is so helpful because we don't want to be the kind of people who steal ideas without giving credit. Now, do sometimes people have the same exact idea at the same exact time? It does happen. I've seen videos where I was like, I had that idea while I was walking to the fridge late last night for a midnight snack. But Did most people actually study 937 videos and come up with that idea and actually study those videos? Probably not. But the good news for you is that you can study videos that are doing well and get inspired. I recommend actually taking some time on Fridays. This is my favorite day to do this when I'm the least productive, to study videos and start to identify trends and patterns. It's an absolute game changer. But I actually did that work for a lot of people. So I put together 10 hooks that you can use. They're going to be in the bio of this video, also in the pinned comments, so you can go grab those, but they are, of course, put there for you, and what you're going to do is fill in the blanks. So for example, if it says the best insert technique I've ever done, what you're gonna say is like the best omelet I've ever made, the best dress I've ever created, the best marketing campaign I've ever launched. Like, that's how you're gonna go ahead and edit those to use these. So try these 10 and see how these work, because this should increase some of your success on TikTok. Even just this is enough to help boost a little bit until you start to kind of get a feel for yourself for how to study and model content. All right, I will catch you guys later. Bye for now. I am so ready for the weekend.